Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a Sony Betamax, a C40 linear stereo deck that I've just purchased on eBay, and it's got a few problems. One being the Hall effect sensor on the video head. I've actually forgotten to film the first part of actually dismantling this. So I've got my desoldering gun. Max is licking my feet for some reason, I don't know why. And I have taken out the video head and the video drum on this machine. And the problem is down to this little sensor here. It's very difficult to see. There's a little sensor there. Let's see whether I can get this camera to focus, you bugger. Finally got it to focus. So, yes, a little Hall effect sensor here, which basically detects the, this is the rotating magnet which sits on top. This is a 3-phase brushless motor. Position on there, which basically, as it rotates, it goes past the sensor here, and registers the one rotation, and then tells the little microcontroller on inside the video recorder that it's gone past, and it keeps the video head in synchronization with field events. So yeah, what happens is the glue, there was some glue, I've tried cleaning off, there's some glue Sony used to actually hold this sensor in. And over time, after 30-40 years and being stored in a damp environment, the glue holds moisture and becomes conductive, and it completely throws the whole sensor off. Now sometimes you can actually clean the actual, there we go, clean the actual legs off, and it will fire up and start working. I've tried that and it's not happening. So it's possible the sensor's been damaged. So what I'm also doing is I'm also going to replace the capacitors for each of the 3 phases on this motor as well. They're underneath on the circuit board and here. What I've done is, again, I've taken the video drum completely out of the machine, and I've got it on the bench here, and I have then taken off, undone the actual circuit board, and actually I've pulled the whole circuit board back, and there we are. There's the capacitors for the 3 phases, plus a capacitor, a smoothing capacitor for the power supply coming in. So yeah, I'm going to replace those, and replace, it's difficult to do this through the camera lens, and replace that sensor there. And there's 4 legs on it. They've got to be in, they're slightly staggered. I don't know whether you can see that. Yes, you can. They're slightly staggered on there, so they are a little bit of a pain to fit. I'm not going to glue the sensor down again, there's no point. Just the resistance of the legs will keep it in there. I've done a few of these before. Now what I've done here, this piece of paper, is I've actually, if I turn the drum upside down, or back up the right way I should say, is I'm actually holding the video heads in a position, and essentially one of the video heads is behind this metal here, and on the other side is the video head, which I'm protecting with some paper, so I don't grab on. I've done this before and I've broken a video head. I've forgotten, even though I've made the video heads actually stationary, I've actually forgotten them, put my finger on one. So it's just a little bit of paper here. Let's just turn that around, and the video head is behind there. So I'm going to put you off on the tripod and let you see what I do. Right, okay, so a quick mug of tea. Let's duplicate things. Yes, myself great. Right, so essentially I'm going to turn this over. What I'm going to do first is probably do the capacitors. I do actually have a capacitor tester, but actually the battery's on. Now what's happening is I'm actually moving house right now, and I'm within a couple of weeks of actually leaving this property here, and I'm bored, and I thought, well, let's do this. So everything's been packed away, so I've got minimal tools here. So let's have a quick look. So we've got here, okay, so the negatives are all on facing towards the drum. So what I can do is I can get my desoldering gun and let's desolder these. Now these are 1 microfarads, 50 volts, all of them. Oh, actually, hang on, we've got 2 1 microfarads and 2 0.1 microfarads. I've got both, so yeah, that's fine. Here we go. Okay. So let's have a look. Can we get these out now? What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this board off, I think, and let's so I can get to the other side. Let's do that and do that. I don't often do videos when I'm repairing because I actually enjoy just doing it by myself. But this one I thought, well, I'll share with you up on YouTube. I do a lot of repairs. I've got well over 55, 60 machines, something like that anyway. Video recorders, and I've got TVs, and I've got classic computers, and so yeah, okay. That needs doing there, so yeah, that's fine. Right, so let's see whether this board will come off. Oh, there we go. I need to be careful. So those ones at the bottom are the 0.1s. I've got those over there. Ones I've got, that's no problem at all. Let's do that. There we go. So there's the different phases of the 3-phase motor. So you've got 1 phase, 2 phase, 3 phase. And there's the sensor. There we go. Now, I'm not entirely sure if you can see how fine that is. No, come on in, focus you fuck, come on, that's it, there we are. Oh, there it goes again. So yeah, so that's the little sensor I'm replacing. Now let's go and get 1 microfarad. Oh, I've not got many. I've not got many. Right, what have we got? I've got 2, unfortunately they're different sizes, but we'll have to make do amend on this one. Right, okay. Yep. And okay. Now all of the stuff in my stock I've tested, so I know that everything works. I actually have gone through every single one of these and made sure that they work. So these are the 0.1 microfarad at 63 volts. They're 1 microfarad at 63 volts, and the ones which are here are 50 volts, so they're absolutely fine. No problem at all. So let's do let's do these ones first. So Okay. I'm just replacing these as a matter of course. If I'm in here and I just sort of test them and they're okay, and then they decide to die, I've really sort of wasted my time taking all this apart. So it's a sort of more preventative maintenance than anything else. Let's just put one through there and one through there. Come on, bugger. There we go. Right, so there we go. That's one. And we have it's going to be that way. So all of the negatives on the capacitor are pointing back down towards the drum. It's nice and easy. No, is there markings? Actually, there's markings on here, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I want to make sure that I get that right down there, and also then bring this down a bit further. One, two, three, four. Let's make sure that is like that. There we go. So let's get these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just unclip this, just so I actually have it as a complete separate unit here. Now, my soldering iron, my main soldering iron is, hang on, okay, yes, my main soldering iron is all packed away, so I'm having to use, unfortunately it's not my favourite way of doing it, it is a way, but it's not my favourite way, of actually using the edge of the desoldering gun to solder this. Yes, my main soldering iron is packed away in storage off-site. So yeah, let's just crack on with this. Let's just put that underneath there. Take the mouse mat. There we go. Tie it up. So it's a bit like repairing a watch with a chisel, but oh, there we go. This one, let's just snip that off this, just make sure, yeah, okay. Have you moved? There we go, yeah, there we go. Snip that one off so we can get to the next one. Yeah. Let's try and get got it. Right. That's 1, 2. That's fine. Let's rotate this around. Come on, get out of the way. That's it. Get away with it. Right. And then we have these two here. Three. I'm snipping the legs off early just to give myself space because it's such a fiddly thing and I've got such a thick end of a soldering iron here. It makes life a little easier. Come on. Got it. So okay. That all looks good. There's no touching, nothing at all. That all looks very good. So then we've then got the 0.1 micropuffs, and they are, yep, they do. The bottom of them look a bit grubby, a bit horrible. I think they have been leaking. And there we go. So let's do the bottom one first. See if I can keep this in shot. There we go, this one. Again, these are much bigger than these ones, and I've not got anything else, so we're just going to have to run with it. There's more than enough space in there, in the gap where it actually sits. So I would have liked the right size, but well. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, yep. Now this machine has got other issues. It's got a very sluggish loading motor. Let's see what I'm going to do them one at a time. So it's a sluggish loading motor. Also, when it ejects, it's actually leaving some tape inside the machine, looped up. That's usually a resistor on one of the boards. I've got to check my reference material, but it's usually a resistor or a transistor, which has gone open circuit. I've done quite a few of this vintage old Betamax. I've got quite a few of them floating around. I've got 3 of the SL-HF100 hi-fi ones, which all of them I've actually rebuilt and recapped, and all the usual pinch points on them. So not like this. So usual stuff which goes wrong with them. So right, let's get on to this thing. So that's now done. So all of the capacitors have been replaced on the drive board. Let's have a quick look at this new one. Now this one I've had in stock for like 5-6 years. I went through a spate of doing these, and I bought about 10 of these little things. Let's see whether we can see. Oh, there we go. It might focus. There we go. So yes, I bought about 10 of them. I gave a couple to a friend who was trying to sort his one out because he couldn't track them down. And this is literally my last one. So I've done about 5-6 of these. So yes, so I've now got to bend these legs into shape, really. So what I might do is I might try and so you're not going to see much in this because it's just so tricky, so fiddly, and I don't have any microscopes or anything like that to try and help here. So right, so let's have a look. Actually, it's running the wrong way. I've bent the legs the wrong way. Okay, alright. Yeah. There's some writing on one side of the actual legs, and that was pointing down into the video head itself, and I did the opposite way around. So, come on. There we go. Right. So, let's get this into here, and so let's see whether you can see. There we go. If you can see, there's actually 4 holes in that, and I've got to get those legs staggered and slightly splayed in there. So Oh wow, that went in first time. Oh, fantastic. Right. Okay. In fact, what I might do is actually take that back out and just bend these. Be very careful. I do not want to put too much pressure on this sensor and damage it. So, just using the snips. Bend a bit more. There we go, that's a little bit better. Let's try again. Is it going to go in first time? No. No, I bent them again. Alright. So, yeah, it's all gone out of whack. So, come on. It's 1, 2. Yeah, right, here we go. Let's see whether I can get them in. Aha, got it. Right. So there we go. A little sensor in. So yes, these ones, let's just do that. The old one had, there we go, some writing on it saying 3D or something like that, and the other one's got pretty much the same type of writing on the bottom. So I've now got that in place. Let's see whether I can zoom in a little bit. It might be a bit better. There we go. Right. I don't do these type of videos. I'm normally doing car videos with Twingos, so don't often do this. So there we go. Right. So we've now got to get this into the PCB. So I'm just going to just bring that back in and see whether we can get this all in one go. Oh wow. Oh, look at that, it did it all in one go. Oh, fantastic, brilliant. Right, let's screw this down so I don't lose it. They're normally a bugger to get in. You've got 4 staggered pins for the Hall effect sensor, and then you've got the 3 phases, connections for the phases. Marvellous. It's really good. Now the fun part with soldering with a great big thing that I've got. That's going to be fun. Okay, let's see whether we can bring you in a bit further. There we go. My hands might get in the way, but well, we'll try. We will try. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3. I've not got that one completely. Let's try that one. Got that one. Got that one. Got that one. Let's get the final one. Come on, that's it. Got it. Ready. Ooh. So there we go. It's all. That all looks good. So, well, there we go. There we go. So yeah, so I'm just going to snip those ends off. That all looks pretty good. Yeah. Come on. I want to make sure none of these little bits of metal I'm chipping off actually go in anywhere near the video head, or that's why I'm just being a little bit careful with them. So that all looks quite good. Excellent, excellent. Right, okay. So, that's it. Yeah, it should be fine. As you can see, if I can get this in, it's like a little standoffs, and those capacitors will sit underneath that. That's no problem at all. So there we go. Okay, let's just zoom out a little bit. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. And then you can watch me put this back on the video head. This is all going rather well, considering I've got no resource, like no facilities here. I'm just doing it off of to unpack my desoldering iron. So I've left it in another box and left it here rather than around at the storage facility. So there we go. That sounds like the doorbell. And so that's back on there like that. Now that little chip, or this little sensor, is pretty much flush. It's not going to touch the drum or the magnet going round. Let's move that out of the way. Don't need to protect that anymore. Put that in the shot. Oh, there we go. There we go. So sorry about that. I was slightly out of shot there. Okay. Let's get that in. Let's use this slightly bigger screwdriver, magnetic one as well. So, whoop! There we go. Come on. One. Two. So, excellent. Now, what we can do is put, this is the magnet here. So there we go. Let's zoom you out a bit. It's too tight to focus. There we go. There we go. So that is the magnet for the motor, and so I can literally just put that on there like that, and then I can then bolt that down. Actually, what I'm going to do is, yeah, that's fine. Now I've got to be careful because I don't want to move the video heads at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to nip it. I'm not going to actually turn it and bolt it up properly. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Let's just make sure that the video heads are, yes, they haven't moved. That's good. So yeah, there we are. So let's put that in there. I'll put those in and I'll test those later on just for my own amusement. There we go. So that is actually pretty much all electronics refurbished on this. I'm just going to, in the past I've had this where I've had a buzzing. Turned out that one of the screws, when it was in operation, and I had to literally take the whole bloody thing apart again, so that's good. Right, so let's get this back in the machine. there we go. So let's get this back into the machine. Right, let's put that through there. Let's just try and nip this in. It's actually very hard doing this with the camera. I'm not exactly used to doing it with the camera in the way. Come on. Here you go. If the heads were free floating, this would be a nightmare. And trust me, I have done that. There we go. And let's move the. Oh, there we go. Let's move the tuner board out of the way. So if I turn this round. There we go. Right, so the whole thing is sprung inside the chassis. The head is sprung inside there. Right. Come on. Right, come on then. Where's the... Very silly here. It's the paper. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to take the paper off the thing. I've clean forgot about that. So let's move that out the way. Right. Yes. So I'm just going to have to be a little bit careful. Just removing the paper. Will I screw up the video heads? It has happened before. There we go. So, as you see, there's a little video head just in the centre of there. I have to be very careful now. It wouldn't be the first time I've had a C40 with destroyed video heads. So, that time it was, I'm sure it was something on the tape. I think it was a rental tape or something like that. It just absolutely destroyed them. That's better. There we go. So now we have. Let's see if I can zoom in. So I may try and make up for my lack of video. My lack of video of the disassembly. There's the video head. Now there's 1, 2, and 3 mounting points, and these are done using springs with washers, and essentially it basically reduces the vibration from the motor for the capstan and other stuff. So let's get these back in. I'm going to use where's the biggest screwdriver? Where does it go? So, now these can be a little bit of a pain. Let's get rid of that piece of crap. These can be a little bit of a pain. There's a little washer at the end of it, and sometimes they go flying. There we go. And you just use it. These are pretty reliable machines. It's only age which is getting to them. I said the design flaw of putting the blob of glue on there, it was basically to stop the sensor, the Hall effect sensor, from raising up and touching the magnet. However, they don't. I've got a machine which is 15 years old, 20, actually no, it's older than that, 25 years old, something like that, and I did the, this is my grandparents' one. I actually did the sensor, one of the very first ones I ever did. Made a bit of a hash of it, but that sensor's still fine, and I've even actually gone in and had a look, and the sensor's not moved. So why they did, Sony did it, I don't know. There we go. Yeah, they're pretty reliable. They're a nice favourite chassis for Betamax. The noise of one of these starting up is ingrained into my brain from childhood, of watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang on Betamax in my grandparents' house in South London. Yeah, there we go. Now that the it's in there and the video heads are safe and protected, I'm going to just try and nip this up. Yeah, it's actually making. I might actually do that as the last thing. Let's move this round. Let's pull this off. What's that? No, I don't want bits of packing tape left. So this is packing tape I'm using to pack my possessions with. Oh, hang on, it's taken a sticker off. Oh, bugger, I've lost that sticker. Oh well. So there we go. Yep, no noise, no sound of any grinding or grating, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the machine round and basically then hold on to that spinning part there and tighten this whole thing. Ooh, there we go. Let's do that one. It's actually really hard to do. No, that'll do. That'll do. What's the worst that can happen, eh? Right. So, bring it back out. So, we've got a connector here, which is the a signal coming out of the video drum for the two heads, and that goes into a circuit board here. And then then we have the actual Hall effect sensor wiring, and the other one's the power. It might be the other way around actually. I can't remember. Push these back into this clip. Right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to push that back up and put a screw into it just to hold everything in place. Just one screw will do for now. So the symptoms are of this is that when you press play or rewind or put a tape in, press play, rewind or fast forward, the video drum should turn. Unlike VHS where the drum actually stays still until you press play. With Betamaxes they actually spin them up. And when with the machine before this repair, it was basically just juddering, not turning. Let's turn you down. Like that. So let's just move that there. So we now have, let's turn that down. Let's just make sure the phone stays there. There we go. So we've now got all these cables to thread back in. It's pretty easy because they're all shaped. There's nothing too difficult. One of them is a little short and it has to loop through this tie back and then go across. Unfortunately you won't see much of this because I need to see what I'm doing. So let's move you around here. Let's move that around there like that. There we go. So that's where it goes. And I need to probably loop it underneath that one. Come on. Wish I had smaller hands sometimes. Okay, let's do that. Just want to make sure it's all out of the way of this, and that one goes in there. And this one actually gets pushed all the way back through and looped to that one, and then this goes in here. Come on. So even after I've done this repair, the machine might not work fully. So let's push all of those cables back into this tray. Try to bring that back up. There we go. That's one in there. Now, some people say, why do you fiddle with this stuff? And to be honest with you, they're puzzles. They're little puzzles. And I just enjoy repairing things. And I've got I like Betamax. I've always have done. I've had it since I was quite young. Brings back lots of fond memories of my childhood. So yeah, it's pretty. I just like them. Okay, the picture isn't as good as modern stuff. Let's just make sure, and that is going in there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Just make sure all the cables I've pulled out of the tuner are out of the way. This is the board which controls all of the stereo audio. Now this one isn't like the hi-fi ones. This is actually just 2-track stereo using the just linear tracks, but it has a lot of Dolby noise, and the majority of this is Dolby noise reduction. So in fact that actually goes down there. So it has been some time since I've actually opened one of these up, or this model anyway. Come on. No. Let's pull that back up. Have I covered this up? Come on. So, yeah. Just want to make sure that and that. Trying to make sure I don't screw something up. Parts of these machines are very rare, so I'd rather take the time to. In fact, that. That's it, yeah. I'd rather take the time to basically just get it right. Why won't this go back in? It's caught on something again. Oh, evil thing. It's just, yeah. I think it just. in there. That's it. That's better. One, two. So many of. We are actually missing quite a few things. I might have to take this back out again. Yep. Okay. Where are they all? So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, and then another 3. 1, 2, 3. There we are. That's it. Come on. What I tend to do with my Betamax tapes is I have got vintage stuff which I really want to keep, other stuff I tend to search through the tapes, look and see if there's anything interesting, rip it onto digitally to MPEG files, and then I basically wipe the tape. If the tapes themselves are not in good condition, I'll actually take all of the tape out of the case and rethread fresh brand new VHS tape, so I can actually use the tapes, and I put my own programs on. So I'll put episodes of Doctor Who or Blake 7 or whatever. I've got films, modern films as well. I tend to sort of use it for nostalgia of actually putting a tape in, just like people do with record players, with LPs. They tend to like the feel of it, and there is a resurgence actually from what I'm hearing. Certainly with VHS tapes, there was a man in the north of England who basically went to Scotland to get 30,000 tapes, VHS tapes, which is a huge amount. How he's going to store it, I don't know, for his collection. And yeah, I fully understand why he's done it. There's some lovely stuff in there. You can actually watch it, and as long as you don't expect HD quality, it's perfectly acceptable. Okay, so let's just put a couple of screws into this just to make sure that sometimes what I do is I'll throw a Blake 7 on. When I've recorded, I actually record them, put them from DVD to Betamax as a fresh copy, and you get some really good results, especially when you've got brand new tape. Is Betamax better than VHS? The colour representation is a little bit better, but they're generally the same. About a third of my collection is VHS. I tend to collect either Sony VHS from the late 80s, very late 80s, nothing more than that, or Panasonic from the 80s, and Philips. So I've got some really, really nice Philips machines, which are just so rare, they're so delicate. They didn't fare well, didn't wear well. So let's just put that in there. I'll sort all the cables out later. That'll be done later on. Put these in here just for now. Yep. That actually has got squashed. Okay. So next on the list of things. Sorry about that. To all my headphone listeners, I do apologise for that noise. Is the next thing is the tape guide. This basically keeps the tape in alignment at the topmost of the drum, because as the tape goes through, it wants to pull upwards, and so this has the little spring-loaded guides, and that goes back in here. Right. There we go. Now, which, I think they are the ones. Yep. So in theory, we are getting very close to testing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tape in and I'm just going to fast forward it. Not play it, fast forward it. Seems pretty good. Right, okay. Yeah, pretty much everything else is case screws. Okay, where can I plug in? Let's turn that off. Okay, so you may not be able to see it, but the actual is the can you see the clock? Yeah, the clock's on, the machine's on. Okay. So, right. Right, let's see whether the drum works. Yay! Fantastic! Marvellous. Excellent, the drum's working. Cool. So right now I'm going to go and get a television. It's a black and white television. And I'm going to actually see whether this machine plays, and it'll be the first time I've actually seen this machine play. Right, so I've just got this little television. It's a little black and white television from 1976. I did a complete recap of it recently. It's got a problem. It keeps on, when it gets warm, shutting off. So I still need to fix it. So let's turn it on, see what happens. Hello. Oh, there we go. There it is. There it is. So what I'm going to first do is actually put on a test pattern. Now on this Betamax you can actually, there's a test pattern and we can tune it in. Let's turn that down. I don't want to kill your ears if you're on headphones. There we go. First time I've seen a picture on this video recorder. Alright. Okay. There we go. Let's press play. Oh, look at that. Excellent. That's a bit better. Sorry about the frame rate. Not much I can do with it. It's, so yeah, that is excellent. That's pause. The picture looks absolutely stunning for this. Fast forward, and then rewind. Yep. So that is absolutely marvellous. Yeah, all the functions seem to work. Now the problem is that this thing keeps on looping tapes on the tape transport, and I'll show you that in a minute, and we'll see whether it does it. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with this. So yeah, and let's just do that. There's, make sure, yeah. So I have a feeling that this machine stopped working 10, 15, 20 years ago and was just put in a loft, and cosmetically it's got a few little marks, but inside it's in such great condition. The video heads are great. You could feel them actually when I was cleaning them with the paper trick, and also the audio heads as well were absolutely spotless, no gunge, no glaze, no nothing. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten up this belt here. It's quite a simple procedure. There's a little tensioner here. So if I just do that, and I just tighten that up a little bit. A little bit too tight. That's a bit better. There we are. So, right. Let's stop this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind, because right at the start of the tape is where it chewed it before. Techmoan, he had a few machines and he called them Chewy. I'm calling this one Chewy. So, make sure. There we go. So, let's move you over to this. Now, if I... So yes, these are the Mark III versions, I think, 3? Yes. There was the original ones from the 80 and 8080 in the UK, and then there was the C5 and C6 and C7, which had slightly different transports, near enough identical but slightly different. And then this was the next big revision. The tape path here comes around. It comes from here, goes around, back around the drum, through past the audio and control tracks, and then back in. When these spools don't run properly, so basically when it's ejecting, it has to pull some of the tape back into the case. This is where it's going wrong, and there's a resistor on the board underneath which is known to fail. I've only seen this do it a couple of times, actually eject properly, and it's always seemed to be failing and chewing this tape up, and also another tape. So so let's see. So I'm going to press the eject and let's see whether it loops. And it's looped. Yeah. So luckily it's at the start of the tape, so I can cut this piece of dead tape out. That's no problem at all. So what I'm going to do is check out the resistor. I'm just looping the tape back in. There we go. It doesn't really damage the tape very much. It's just enough that you will see little things on the screen, and actually right at the start of the tape is just on this tape is just blank picture. So there we go. It's definitely the motor's here. There is a motor just here which actually does about 3 different functions on this machine. So it does the loading. This is the loading belt, which that's fine. But also then it actually runs the mechanism here, and also pulls that mechanism into place. So what I'm going to do is I am going to let this machine play for a few hours, and then I'm going to rewind it, and then I'm going to try again. And sometimes it's just the spools here have not really had much use, and they are a bit gummed up or a bit stiff. So running this for, in fact what I might do is actually just do a fast forward like that. Right, okay, that finished. Let's see whether it actually loops the tape. Yep. Love it. Right, so yes, I've got to now check the transistor and the resistor on the board. Right, after tracking it down, taking a little while behind the scenes to track it down, that transistor is power transistor is suspect, and that resistor there is suspect. So let's get something to point them out. Yes, so there, that one there and that one there. So what I'm going to do now is either pull them out and do some tests, or I'm just going to basically reflow the solder joints on them just in case there is some dodgy joints. I have seen a few joints that look a bit suspect and looking a bit funny at me, so I'm actually going to sort of reflow those joints and see what happens. Alright, so I've identified a few dodgy solder joints. I'm also going to replace the capacitors. There's a couple of capacitors which are here and here, which I'm going to replace. I've just pulled the solder off the back of them, and there we go. It's 116. It's in my saws. Straighten these up. Okay. So that's positive. That's one. This one, which is positive towards me, and that is another 116. Let's see. Something. I'm sure I have got something. I just want to try and use up some of my old stock. Turn it round, solder them in. Right, do this. One, two. Come on, it's because that's in the way. Let's move that like that. Let's move you around like that. So. I am going to do a complete recap of this machine. It's purely preventative. I don't mind spending the money on that. Doing something like that, just so I know that later on I'm not going to end up with I think that's fine, that's alright, that's already good. Yeah, there's not that much else. Not much else going on in this section here. Ooh, okay. All right. I've just seen something. Right, okay. Don't know whether you can see here, but this, the corner of this has actually been banged. Hasn't cut any traces. Oh, hang on. No, it has. It's cut there to there. Oh, right, okay. Well, we'll have to fix that. Let's have a quick... You can see there's a crack in the board. And it is actually cutting off the just here. So I'll check that. That's not important just right now. Let's get this thing stopped. I can put a bodge wire across that. That's no problem. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, this might be something else. Okay, all right. The fact that it did it, and I heard the scrape, means it could be the bearing at the bottom of the thing. I've had that before. So I'm going to leave this video here. It's going much further into the mechanical stuff than I really wanted to do for this video. So thanks for watching. Please just subscribe, share, do whatever you want to do really, and like, and I'll see you on the next video.